Okay, we're given a problem. We're told the man travels a weird number of miles, 1,995 miles over 2. Um, I would leave it at that. I wouldn't get the decimal for that. It says he travels 20 miles in the first day. Let me write that down then. 20 miles the first day. And then it says he increases his speed 1/2 of a mile in each succeeding day. So if you thought about that, the next day he would travel 20 and 1/2 miles. The next day he would travel. He's increasing his a half mile each day, so it's 2 halves, and then 23 halves. Right? It might be a strange way to write that down, but I'm starting to realize it's an arithmetic sequence where A1 is 20, and the D is going to be 1/2. All right. So let's write down AN. AN is going to be A1, which is 20, plus N minus 1 times D, which is 1/2. I'm going to simplify a tiny little bit, and then we'll look at the key to make sure they have that written down. Combine of 2, I would get 40 minus 1, which is 39, plus N. All right? So I kind of understood what I've read, but I'm not there yet, and I want to make sure you understand that we're looking, I told you that A1 was 20, and then I put AN down. It's right over here. All right? So I'm pretty comfortable that I understood that part of it. Let me erase this. And again, we're just going piece by piece. The number of miles he travels per day is an arithmetic sequence. All right? Now, what they tell me? They tell me the sum. So I'll write the formula down for sum. The sum, Sn, N stands for the number of days, by the way, would be N, A1 plus AN over 2. Now, did they tell me the sum? They did. They told me he's going to accomplish 1,995 over 2. I'll put this down. 1,995 over 2. I don't know what the n is, though. I don't know how many days it's going to take, and that's really his question. How many days? Well, let's write this down. N, I don't know how many days. 2, just writing the formula down. A1 is 20. And do you know what AN is? And I do, I just did it. It's 39 plus N over 2. I'll put a parentheses on that. Now, by the way, I'm going to simplify it, and I want to see if I can do that quickly. I'm going to multiply both sides by 2, and you get this. You get 1995 equals N times, well, I'm going to need a common denominator now, and that would be 2. All right? And what would you get there? You get 40 and 39, which is 79, plus N. All right, now I got to solve that. All right, and that's going to be quadratic. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to erase things, the past. I kind of wrote my formula down. I knew that. I kind of know this stuff at this point. I simplified this equation I wrote down. And from the past, we got all this information over here. I'm actually going to multiply both sides by 2 now. All right? So what do you get? Well, you can get 3,990. Again, you get 2. I'll write that down for you. 2,000, because 2 times 1,000 is 2,000. You get 1,800, because 2 times 900 is 1,800. 2 times 90 is 180. And 2 times 5 is 10. And if you add all that together, what do you get? You get 2,990. That's done. All right? And then what do you do? Well, I'd multiply this out. What do you get? 79 N plus N squared. All right, I realize they're huge numbers. There's no doubt about it. I'm kind of looking at it, and that's going to be a tough one. But I'll have to write it down, right? So I'll erase this over here. I'd hate to use a quadratic formula on that. You could use complete and square if you like, but I like that trial method. 0 equals N squared plus 79 N minus 3,990 9, 0. 0, n. By the way, n's got to be an integer. Right, there has to be a certain number of days to accomplish this. Let's see. Wow, that looks like a tough one, doesn't it? So, boy, I really got to do something there, don't I? You know what I'm going to do first? I'm going to divide through by 5. Although it might seem ridiculous to you, 5, I'm just trying to get the number so it's more manageable for me. So I'm going to do 5 into 3, 9, 9, 0. And I'm going to say, 7, that's 35. This would be 49. And 5 into 49 is going to be, whoops, sorry about that. That's going to be 9, right? 45. And then you get 4, 0. And 5 into, that's 8. 8 times 5 is 40. So, yeah, it's baby arithmetic, but I know it's 5 times 7, 98 now. I'm going to start to erase this business over here. So I know 5 times that number. Now, there's no way that's the product, and I'll tell you why. There's no way that gives you 79. So now I'm going to continue the factorization process, right, just to look for it. And 798, I'm going to divide through by 2 now. Well, that's going to be 3. This number's getting smaller each time I do it. 6, 1, 9. That's 9. 18, 1, 8, and 2 into 18 is 9. All right, so I get 399. So what am I getting now? I'm getting 5, I'm getting a 2, and I'm getting 399. And each time I do this, I notice the number gets simpler and simpler for me to look at. Like I'm looking at the 399, and I'm starting to think to myself, I could divide that by 3. Well, let's go for that. What do you get? 2 times 3 times 5 times 1, 33. All right, so I'm at 133 now. I'm kind of looking at that. And I'm looking at the 133. It's a much smaller number, much more, it's easier for me to handle it. I'm going to say 7. 7 into, you notice I'm not doing the 2, I'm not doing 5, I'm not doing 3. I'm moving on to 7 now. So 133. That goes in once. That would be 7. What do you get there? 63, and you get a 19. So I'm pretty comfortable now that I got the factorization of it. So 133 is just 7 times 19. I'll write that down. Now someone says that takes a long time to do, and some people are better at it than others. But nonetheless, I'm looking at a bunch of numbers now, and I'm really looking for that combination that will do it for me. And I'm kind of looking at it, and looking at it, I'm looking at something, and I want to make those numbers so they multiply to 3,990, but their difference is 79. All right, that might be difficult to do, but it's integer. Right? At least I know that much. So I'm gonna take the 5 and the 7 together, and that would be 35. All right, we'll try that one, and then you get 6 times 19. Well, 6 times 19 is 60 and 54. Right, so 60 and 54. So that's 114. Well, 65. Wow, that's a bingo. Let's write that down. 35 and 114. So what do you get over there? Well, let's write this down. It would be plus, minus. You could certainly check that if you want. And yes, it's tough to get through that. Some students might say, I'm going to use my calculator to do that. I don't mind. I really don't. You can use a calculator. But let's write this down. And by the way, all that work, you might have forgot why you did it. I did it to find out what n is. N is 35, or n is minus 114. I hope you realize that this is extraneous. You can't have that number of days. So it's 35 days. And that answer is written over here for you. Thank you.